Something that police have raised concerns about on a number of occasions. But tonight the court says the magistrate who made that decision only had so much information to go on, and that DPD did not show up at that hearing.
These guys are dangerous. And I can tell you this right now, these guys are not going to show up to court.
Detroit police up in arms over the release of two men facing felony charges, leading officers on a chase, one of them allegedly pointing a gun at cops.
This individual, Mr. Jordan, exited the car. He pointed that gun in our direction. He jumped back in the car, drove about 3 to 5 feet, got back out, did the same thing.
It all happened March 12th on the city's west side. Officers say they spotted Terrence Jordan standing in the street holding a pistol. He was with a man named Joshua McCormick. Officers say the pair got in the Dodge Charger and sped off when they saw police. The officers followed but gave up their pursuit after the men turned off their lights and hit high rates of speed. The pair later led state troopers on a chase before crashing.
They destroyed a scout car. Luckily, the officers were okay. And the guy's demeanor, it's like they didn't care. They had no, it was a joking matter to them. They knew nothing was going to happen to them.
36th District Court Magistrate Millicent Sherman released Jordan and McCormick on a $2,000 personal bond. That means they did not have to pay to get out of jail, but are on the hook for that money if they violate their bond conditions or don't show up to court. Chief James Craig says those type of bond arrangements embolden criminals.
They know once they go in, they tell our officers all the time, hey, I'll be out before you're off shift. They say that, and it's shameful. This endangers not only the men and women who serve, it endangers the people in our community.
But the 36th District Court's chief judge says the bond was based on the facts of the case presented that day. The investigators' report came in about an hour before the hearing and did not mention the crash involved a police cruiser or a civilian vehicle. Furthermore, no one from the prosecutor's office appeared to argue the bond, and neither the officer in charge of the investigation nor anyone from DPD showed up for the arraignment.
I'm very saddened by the fact that the police department, in particular the police chief, would comment on a case that hasn't even been to court yet for a full due process hearing called a preliminary examination.
Attorney David Cripps represents the man who allegedly pointed a gun at police.
And I'm telling you, a lot of times when the allegations are made, when it comes to the light of day in an open courtroom, all of a sudden we get a totally different story coming out.
We have more from 36th District Court Chief Judge William McConico. The magistrate objectively weighed the factors the court must consider when determining bonds, such as prior criminal record, risk of flight, history of dangerousness, ties to the community. The defense convincingly presented information confirming the defendant's ties to the community, multiple stable jobs, and the lack of prior criminal contacts. There was no information given that indicated that either defendant presented a flight or safety risk. Buell, Monica.
But Randy, there is video of what happened. Is it too late to have the bond situation reevaluated?
Well, it's not. The chief judge says that any party involved can request an emergency bond hearing to reevaluate that bond decision and possibly get it changed. But as of this afternoon, no one had done so.